Shalom. All praise and glory to our Creator, who is one God. Everything that exists is to one God's glory. There's nothing, no partners to the left, to the right, none that sit on the right hand of authority. I've done several of these lessons, probably about 3 chapters that hadn't uploaded because I was doing them with music. They were detailed videos. These videos, a lesson like this, to write on the board and go through it, probably about 40 minutes to an hour I spend. But if I start pulling up videos, showing you guys videos and stuff, cross-referencing parables, going through a little sound background of some harmony music or some sounds of tranquility, and try doing all that, then YouTube will not allow me to upload, or it takes an ungodly amount of time for it to upload. You know, this video here with no music, no sound or anything will upload within probably 20 to 30 minutes. If I try playing the music or any of that stuff in my videos anymore, they don't load up, or they take forever to load up. So here we're at Exodus chapter 10. I've done 10, 11, and 12 already, but as I said, they weren't uploading. So we're going to go back over them again here today. Starting 1. Then the Lord said to Moses, okay? The Lord. 30:68. Okay? This here is the eternal Creator. Okay? Why am I bringing this to your attention, this Lord? Because you're going to start questioning the difference between the Lord. And when I say Lord, I'm talking about the Creator. Now, Jesus on this plane of existence, there's plenty of messages or titles for Jesus. Creator, Bread of Life, the Redeemer, Living Waters. All these titles are for Jesus. And I do not see Jesus Christ as the Creator. Okay? I don't know why when I tell Christians that they believe that Jesus is the Creator, they want to argue with me and say that's not true. Christians don't believe that Jesus is the Creator. No, it is one of his titles. Just Google the 7 names for Jesus and read them. Redeemer, Savior, Bread of Life, all the eternal Creator. Jesus is not the eternal Creator, folks. Okay? The Creator has never revealed himself to anybody in fleshly form. You got to understand that. Okay? So the Lord said to Moses, to Pharaoh. Now, who's the Pharaoh? Pharaoh equals slavery, man. Okay? Pharaoh equals Egypt. Okay? Go to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials, so that I may perform these signs of mine among them, that you may tell your children and your grandchildren how I dealt harshly with the Egyptians. Okay, also, what are the Egyptians? They are Gentile. The Egyptians are the Gentile. Assyrians are the Gentile. Anybody who's in power are Gentile, okay? As of right now. Okay? How I dealt with them harshly, with the Egyptians, and how I performed these signs among them, and that you may know that I am the Creator, the Lord. I call the Creator, I call the Lord, the self-existing eternal one. Israel calls him Yahweh. Those in the province of Jerusalem today call him Jehovah. Okay? And if you go to 15:3 of Exodus, it tells you both that Yahweh and Jehovah are men of war. It also says that the Lord is a man of war. So now we got all these definitions. Really, the only one in the Bible that doesn't say he's a man of war is the Creator. It doesn't say that the Creator is a man of war. But all these names that have been given to prophets are all men of war. I'm only telling you what I'm reading in the Bible. What you do with the information is on you. Okay? I don't believe anymore. I know of God's existence. Okay? And I have no belief at all in the Christian faith. That I am the Creator, your Lord. So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said to him, "This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, say." So this is a telltale sign right here. Now we know that there is two different entities. What you got to understand is the Creator created mankind, and mankind are the many gods. They call themselves gods. They consider themselves gods. They put it right on the back of the dollar bill for you. In God we trust. What that's saying is in money you trust. Okay? I don't trust in money anymore. I don't trust in anything other than the Creator today. That's it. You know? If I find a good friend, that you can my grandfather used to say, if you can count 5 friends on your hand and one hand at the end of your life, you did really good. I'm going to have to say even go down further than that, man, and say 3. If you can find 3 people that are good friends in your life, then you've done well, because you ain't going to find 5 good friends on this plane of existence that serve and worship the Lord and think alike like you. It's a very difficult task to do when you're serving the Lord. So we now know that the Hebrews, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, okay, Hebrews are not those that are in the province of Jerusalem today. All right? So Hebrews are not, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, is not the same God as the Egyptians or the Assyrians or the Christians or Hindu or Buddhism. Any of them are all different gods. There's only one God, the Creator. How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me, says the Pharaoh. Let my people go so that, correction, that's not the Pharaoh, the Lord. Let my people go. Moses is the one that's speaking. So that they may worship me. The Lord, the Spirit, the self-existing eternal one, is using Moses as a conduit, because that's what our bodies are. They're conduits in this plane of existence. Everything is to the glory of the Creator. Every vessel is to the glory of Creator. Good and evil is to the glory of the one Creator. He's the one that does it all. Swallow it. If you refuse to let them go, I will bring locusts into your country here tomorrow. They will cover the face of the ground so that it cannot be seen. They will devour what little you have left after the hail, including every tree that you have out in the fields. They will fill your houses and those of your officials and all of the Egyptians. So the Egyptians, again, is the masses, okay? Now you're talking about everybody in Egypt. Something your parents or your grandparents have never seen until the day they settled here in the land until now. Then Moses turned and left Pharaoh. Pharaoh's officials said to him, "How long has this man been a snare to us? Let the people go so that they may worship the Lord their God." See? Their God. There's 2 different gods. Well, there's only one God, but mankind is calling themselves God, and that's what you got to understand. This God here is Elohim. It's 430 of the Strong's, okay, concordance. Okay, and the concordance is a con dance. All right? You got to read between the lines. You got to figure it out. You got to understand what's being said. So 430 in the Strong's Concordance is God. God equals plural of Eloah. Okay? Plural. And this is why you have the confusion with many gods. Because plural means many. And then you have man and many, which is plural of this God right here. God Elohim. Plural of Eloah. And this God here is specifically used of the Supreme Creator. This is why everybody's so damn confused on this plane of existence, because they speak so much about God on this plane of existence. And the Creator, the Lord, the self-existing eternal Spirit, is not the God of this realm. Mankind is the God of this realm. Or so they think that they're gods of this realm. I talked with a friend of mine, and he had mentioned that when I said sons of God, that the sons of God were son of man, which is the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I've thought about it, and I've prayed, and definitely a distinction between sons of God and son of man. And in that parable 6:1, when the sons of God saw that the daughters of men. So sons of God and daughters of men are two different creations, two different races. See, Satan wants you to think that this race war is about black and white. Why? Because it was the second man that was created in the garden. It was created dark. Okay? Dark in the Bible means black. And the first man that was created in the Bible, the first man, Adam, was a fair-skinned man, which tells us in Ezekiel 31:3. And behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches and a shadowing shroud in his tops among the boughs. The Assyrian is Satan. Okay? The Assyrian is Satan, folks. Fair branches in this parable is light skin. Take that over to Raft and News' channel, man, if you don't believe me. He's the one that goes through everything I've learned came from that channel, and I still watch that channel. I still always watch his channel. Okay. So, they devoured everything in the fields. They will fill your houses and those of your officials and all the Egyptians, something your parents have never seen till now. Then Moses turned and left Pharaoh. Pharaoh's officials said to him, down here, God, do you not realize that Egypt is ruined? Then Moses and Aaron were brought back to Pharaoh. Go worship the Lord your God. But tell me who is going? Why is this question posed to Moses? Tell me why we are going. Because it's the same thing that Satan did in the garden with Eve when he came in and he talked to her and said to her, is it true that you may not eat from any tree in the garden? Right there he lied. He knew that Eve could eat from any tree in the garden, but he enticed her into a conversation. The same way that the Pharaoh here is trying to entice Moses into a conversation. Is it true that God said that you may not eat from any tree in the field? It is not true. We may eat from any tree in the garden, but the tree that is in the middle of the garden we can neither eat from nor touch, or surely we shall die. Then Satan replied to her and says, you shall not surely die. For the Lord knows that in the day that you eat thereof, your eyes shall be open, and ye will become as gods. It's the first time in the Bible that the word other gods is used, plural, in a plural sense. You will become gods. Why? The flesh. Because who's ever talking with Eve, which is evil, in the garden, is trying to get her to leave the light body. He's trying to shade her. He's trying to jade her. Okay? We will go with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, and with our flocks and herds, because we are to celebrate a festival to the Lord. Pharaoh said, "The Lord will be with you if I let you go, along with your women and children. Clearly, you are bent on evil." Now, why would the Pharaoh say this? Because all the Hebrew want to do is go out and worship their Creator, man. Give praise and glory to Him. Have a festival to the Spirit, the Great Spirit. The Creator wants us to worship Him in spirit. 4:24. Over and over, God is spirit, and those that worship Him must do so in spirit. The Creator wants us to worship His Spirit. He wants us to worship what we can't see. He doesn't want us worshiping anything that we can see. That includes your children, your parents, your boss, your car, your house, the idols you watch on American Idol, America's Got Talent, all of it. It means that you do not worship anything on this plane of existence. You give all praise and all glory goes only to the Creator. Say that again. All praise and all glory for anything that you have in your life goes to the Creator, whether it be good or bad. Because if you have bad that's happening in your life, it's because you're walking contrary to God and He's punishing you. And you're sitting there in your room and you're holding your forehead and your head's down between your legs. You're thinking, what the hell's going on? What have I done? Well, you're doing something that's wrong. You're walking contrary to God. Anytime somebody's down in this despair state of mind where they're just like, what's going on? Okay, that's the Creator making you suffer. This is how He brings you back to Him. This is how He makes you aware. It's all about worship of the Creator. So the Pharaoh is evil because he doesn't want to let the people worship the Lord their God. You understand that the Pharaoh, in this case, the Pharaoh's God would be Jesus or Baal, as it says. Remember, man, we went from a change here, man. We went from Joseph, second command in a country, to a Pharaoh, this Pharaoh here, not caring anything at all about Joseph or his family or anything that he had done. The Lord had hardened his heart. Okay, no. Pharaoh said, no, have only the men go and worship the Lord. Since that, see, this is the Pharaoh, what he's always doing. What's he trying to do? He's trying to control at every point. Trying to control God's chosen people at any point to stop them any way that he possibly can. The way that Satan manipulates. Since that's what you have been asking for. Then Moses and Aaron were driven out of the Pharaoh's presence. And the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand over Egypt, so that the locusts swarm and devour everything growing in the fields, everything left by the hail. So Moses stretched out his staff over Egypt, and the Lord made an east wind blow across the land all that day and all that night. Okay? By morning, the wind had brought the locusts. I've taught you many times that locusts are a flight of locusts, which are military. In this parable here, it's literally locusts. Okay? But whenever armies are being spoke about in the Bible and stuff, they're referred to as a troop of animals or a flight of locusts. They're the beast of the field, each according to their kind. They invaded all of Egypt and settled in every area of the country in great numbers. Never before had there been such a plague of locusts, nor will there ever be again. They covered all the ground until it was black. This is why I'm always in question here, man. Could you imagine God's power? It's just... It's... Even with the scales removed off your eyes, I'm just a complete blown away shock that I'm a soul. Okay, I'm not flesh and blood. Okay, we're spirits and souls. We either have the spirit on our flesh and we serve the Creator, or we don't. And if you talk about God and somebody tries to bring up Jesus, then you got problems. Get away from them. They devoured all that was left from the hill, everything growing in the fields and the fruits on the trees. Nothing green remained on tree or plant in all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh quickly summoned Moses and Aaron. I don't know why. He has nothing left, man. At this point in time, all the livestock's been wiped out. All the food's been wiped out. All the green's been wiped out. There's no vegetation. What's Egypt living on? I mean, Joseph stored up all that food. Must be what the Pharaoh and them are living on, because the Creator has wiped out everything that the Pharaohs has. Wiped out all their livestock, wiped out all of their grain, wiped out all of their plants, all their fruit trees. He's wiped it all out. So how are these people living anymore? You've got to ask yourself some questions here. They devoured all that was left from the hill, everything growing in the fields and the fruit trees. Nothing green remained on the trees or plants in all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh quickly summoned Moses and Aaron. I have sinned against you, the Lord, sinned against the Lord your God. Again, Lord, self-existing, eternal Creator. This particular point in time right here, right now, it's Moses. The Lord your God. Pharaoh is talking to Moses. I have sinned against the Lord, your God, Moses, and against you, the Hebrew. Because this is what we're talking about, Hebrew. Okay? Hebrew and Gentile are not the same. Moses and Pharaoh are not the same. They are the two races of people. Once you start understanding that there's two races that were created, and that this is a race war about good and evil, not black and white, then you'll start snapping out of this delusional dream that you're in. Now pray to the Lord your God to take this deadly plague away from us. Moses then left Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. And the Lord changed the wind. The wind is the breath of God. Breath of air, a breeze. The air, the way we perceive things through the ether, is all to God's glory. How we're just a part of His creation, and I'm pretty desperate, man, to want to be in the right sights of God today. I certainly don't want to walk contrary to His laws and commandments today. So change the winds to a very strong west wind, which caught up the locusts and carried them away to the Red Sea. Now also, the Red Sea is also a metaphor for the largest artery in our brain. The Red Sea is this giant, frickin' huge artery that goes right down the center of our left and right hemispheres of our brain, because the brain is like 99% water, man. You set a brain out in the middle of the sun for a week, man, you're going to be looking at a little itty bitty pea. There's going to be nothing left. Okay? So, not in all cases. You just got to know when they're speaking about the Red Sea. When Moses sticks his staff into the ground and strikes the rock twice. He was only supposed to strike it once. The Red Sea opens up and allows the Hebrews through. Now, due to tides and stuff, Moses knew that area. Okay? So, because of the tide coming in, he knew that it would allow the Hebrew through. And by the time that the Pharaoh and his troops reached them, the tide was coming back in. And that's what caught him off. Okay? These magical stories about oceans opening up and men being swallowed by a whale and regurgitated on the earth and others talking to donkeys and all that stuff, that's the same thing as Santa Claus, folks. Okay? Now, understand that supernatural miracles can take place from mankind, but they're scripted. They go through a lot to put this show on for us on this plane of existence. The Gentile are in power of all the money, and they put on a show of fear and torment, all for you because you were born into this realm. Not a locust was left anywhere in Egypt, but the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let the Israelites go. Here, the plague of darkness. Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand once more towards the sky so that the darkness spreads over all Egypt. Darkness that can be felt. Folks, have you ever had darkness that could be felt in your dreams? Wake up in a cold sweat. One of those dreams you just can't wake up from. Or you're surrounded by fire and it's closing in on you in a forest. Or how about something coming from somewhere where you can feel it just slowly rolling down a stairwell, this thick, nasty darkness that's just over you. I've had those dreams before. Okay? About had a freaking heart attack coming out of my sleep. Sheets soaked completely. See, when you dream like that, that's the other side. That's what you can't see. So when your soul leaves your body and you ain't protected by the spirit and you see what's on the other side, you're going to shit your spirit, man. That ain't no lie. So Moses stretched out his hand to the sky, and total darkness covered all Egypt for 3 days. Now, darkness equals ignorance. There's a saying that ignorance is bliss. I'm sure we've all heard that, right? But how can ignorance be bliss if ignorance is darkness and darkness is sorrow, pain, grief, destruction, and death? So, we're talking about death. And again, 3 days. We all know that 3 in the Strong's Concordance equals Abaddon. Giving praise to and glory to the Creator, the Most High, the Spirit of God. Shout out to Anaya Obadiah. So I have a difficult time saying your name. But Abaddon is a bad dawn. a language inside of the language. Abad Don, as in a controller, someone in power. Abaddon, which equals angel from the abyss. So when you find darkness here aligned with 3 days here, could it be talking about the angel of the abyss was let out? Because if you can feel this darkness, this plague, this molasses frickin' gungy, nasty, just crawling on you like worms and maggots, as it says your bed will be. So 3 is the angel from the abyss, which is the destroying angel. Darkness is all these, and for 3 days the angel from the abyss, the destroying angel, covered all of Egypt. Because if the Creator is going to destroy the firstborn, then what's coming after you is the angel of death. It's that simple. No one could see anyone else or move about for 3 days, yet all the Israelites, which are what? Okay. Israel. Okay. Is short for Isis. Okay. Ra is the sun god. And El equals Elohim. If you were to call El the supreme, which he isn't, I don't call the Creator anything other than the Creator. I worship the Creator. I worship the supreme, self-existing, eternal Creator. He calls himself the Lord. 42:8. Isaiah. I am the Lord. That is my name. Jesus wants to be the Lord. Jesus isn't the Lord, but he wants to be the Lord, that he might be the Lord of both the dead and the living. I am the Lord, that is my name, my glory. I will not yield to another. So the Creator here, the Lord being the Creator, the supreme, self-existing, eternal Creator, is not yielding his glory to another. So then how can Jesus be next to the Lord if this one's saying, hey, I am not giving my glory to anybody, man. I'm the Creator of all this. I'm the one that did it all. All praise, all glory goes to me. I'm the one that did it. He made you live. He made you. He makes you die. He lifts you from the ash heap. That ash heap that he's lifting you from is probably when you get your ass cremated. Okay? Israel. Just throwing that out there because I believe that all religions are Trinity. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay? Everything is a Trinity, it seems to me anymore. The more I read this Bible, the more is revealed to me. The more you got to understand that there's 2 creations. Okay? This line here is the bloodline of Adam. Okay? And the other Gentile race, they're blue bloods. They're dead. They are dead, dead. So, but the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. Pharaoh said to Moses, "Get out of my sight. Make sure you do not appear before me again. The day you see my face, you will surely die." "Just as you say," Moses replied. "I will never appear before you again." Well, that's hogwash, because what's it showing you? It's showing you that the Pharaoh changes his mind like I change a pair of socks. You know, at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. Get up in the morning, put on a pair of socks, go to work, come home, take a shower, and put on a pair of socks. So I change my socks at least every day. So you got the Pharaoh, he's changing his mind every day as well. All right, folks, all praise and glory to the mighty Most High, our Creator, who is one God. Let's go ahead and bow our heads and pray out if you'd like to join me. Our Creator, the Spirit, which moves all things in place, there is none like you. To all things be your glory. I humbly lay before you, kneel before you, call upon you with every cell, every fiber that comprises me of flesh. You are my master. The blood that pumps through my veins is yours. You've created me. You've created me in an image, but I wish to be so much more. I wish to be a soul with your Spirit upon me. Please, anybody that may be listening to this, repent to the Creator now, today, before you. Hit your knees in private. Call on Him and ask Him to place His Spirit upon you, so that you may find discernment, where you can understand that this Bible is a riddle. Okay, it is a parable of allegories written from wise men. Please let you find discernment. I ask all these things only in the Almighty, my Creator, a Spirit. This is White Raptor News Ministries. Shalom.